Hello everyone. My evidence-based practice today is on teacher-child interaction training, also known as TCIT. What is TCIT? Developed by Dr. Karen Budd of DePaul University, teacher-child interaction training is a modification of parent-child interaction therapy, a short-term intervention program for children ages 2 to 7 who are experiencing behavioral, emotional, or developmental difficulties. It has also helped to decrease disruptive behavior in the classroom and improve the teacher-child relationship. The strength of the program is it helps a child experience a greater sense of control over his or her behavior, which leads to less disruptive behavior and more positive interactions in the classroom. The child is provided with skills for following directions that improve his or her reactions to transitions. The teacher acquires skills that can be generalized to improve the overall classroom environmental experience and enhance sense of self-efficacy in the classroom. And that is the description that Dr. Budd gave regarding her development of TCIT. A detailed description of TCIT and all its components can be found at the link below. How does TCIT work? There's two phases to TCIT. The first is child-directed interaction. This is where the teachers just focus on how they interact with the child using the PRIDE model. We use this at our school, so I'm very familiar with the PRIDE model. The first step is praise. Instead of just saying, "that was good," or "great job," you label the praise saying, "I like how you started your homework right away," or "thanks for following the direction the first time." Just following it up with a label instead of just giving the one-word praise. The second is reflect. The child says something and you will repeat it back. The example given here is, "I made a star," and the adult would say, "Yes, you did make a star," just to reflect to the child to let them know that you're paying attention to them. The third is imitate. If the child is building with blocks or playing a puzzle, you imitate what they're doing and begin to also do it. They then feel like you're giving them attention. The fourth is describe the behavior. As the example says here, "I see you drew a smiley face," or "I like the way you're building a house. We are building a house." Just to tell the child what you're doing. And the fifth is to be enthusiastic, because a child definitely responds better when they can tell that you're happy about something. The second of the TCIT model is teacher-directed. This here, the teachers learn more clear, consistent instruction, and this is through the training that is developed by a TCIT trainer. This section you implement a sit and watch, which is also an evidence-based practice, versus a timeout. A sit and watch in our class just involves a child going to the chair that is still involved in the classroom, where they can still see the class and focus on the positive behaviors that they should be doing. And then when they feel they have got those positive behaviors back, they can join us back in the classroom. The intense positive praise and praising the opposite. One example I can give you for praising the opposite, if you have your children sitting on a rug and you want them to be quiet for your lesson, instead of saying, "Children, please be quiet, I'm ready to start," you would say, "Oh, I like the way Molly is sitting quietly and ready to learn." And then all the other children in the class want that positive praise also, so they jump right in and they want to sit perfect like Molly is sitting. Why should you use TCIT in your classroom? It increases teachers' use of positive communication and attention. It increases the child's compliance to your commands when you're giving them in the classroom. It really does increase your positive child relationships, especially in my classroom for level 3 EBD. It really helps the child feel more connected to you. And it decreases the disruptive, aggressive, and inappropriate behaviors in your class. TCIT as an evidence-based practice. It originated as a form of parent-child interaction training, and it started as identified 95 index children in the EBD classroom setting. They collected teachers and gathered data prior to the training. The therapist coached and trained teachers for 12 weeks, and then after the 12 weeks, they were able to put the model into their classroom and then the therapist would come into the classroom and assess you throughout another 12 weeks of implementing the strategies learned in your classroom. Then after 3 months, the data is collected again, and normally it's a positive outcome. The findings were that 80% of teachers showed improvement. The pride skills that I just described before increased dramatically. All the negative talk in the classroom severely decreased, meaning that instead of using words like stop or please return to your seat or saying things negatively, they were able to change them to a more positive light. And 162 of the children studied showed improvement in intensity and in classroom problems. So that is a significant percentage of improvement out of the 195 children that were assessed. How TCIT as an evidence-based practice relates to our reading is that the Torus reading states effective teaching techniques combined with the use of an EBP provides the opportunity to maximize student outcomes. And I would definitely think that TCIT provided the opportunity to max the student outcomes as evidenced by the data collected. It also helps students realize their full potential, which the TCIT training for teachers and students definitely did, again, as evidenced by the data collected. And the TCIT model easily follows the evidence-based practice implementation process checklist that is found in the Torus reading. Do I feel that TCIT should be used? Yes, yes, and yes! I use it every day in a level 3 EBD setting, and it is amazing to see the reaction from the kids when you're praising them using the TCIT model. It's very positive, and the students just love the attention. And I've even started using it at home as well. My kids get it at the school that I teach at, but when you bring it home as well, it has been a huge help for my son with ADHD. And finally, here are just the resources I used in gathering my documentation for the TCIT model. I hope you all look into it and use it in your classrooms. Have a great night!